Hello collective and chosen ones, welcome to my channel. It's so nice to have you here today. Know that you're always loved and appreciated in this channel, and thank you all for being here. If this is the first time you're here, welcome, and for all regular viewers, welcome back. So this channel is all about managing and raising your vibration and managing your energy and how to navigate through the difficult times in your community and through life. So today I'm going to be channeling some messages on top of some oracle messages as well, and some tarot cards. And I've got a mixture of some things that are very testing. And lately I've been facing a lot of things with communication, so I seem to be trying to produce these videos and somehow it just doesn't work out, or the camera might be jittering and the messages or the video will come out a little bit skewed. Anyway, so just please I send my apologies in advance if this is happening. So this is the second video I've had to produce, and it's been happening for the last 2 weeks. So let's get started. So I hope you're all well and really going through some intense energy. It still has been quite busy, and Spirit's asking you to just keep doing what you're doing. You're managing it really well, and with the people around you, it hasn't been easy. In effect, when your light is shining so bright, being the collective and chosen ones, it's really exposing some people's insecurities. Somehow they just don't feel comfortable around you. That's because you don't mean to do it, but it's really making them very uncomfortable to look at themselves and how they can be your haters. They're so stressed out at the moment, so they have to just try and be in competition with you. So you're facing multiple challenges with people that cannot see why you are so victorious in because they think that you're very lucky in life. It's like, why is this person doing this job so easily, and why am I struggling with it? So they try and throw you under the bus. You're a major threat to them. So you know how to protect yourself from a person or situation. You've become an expert in doing that. Know that to be up against you is up against spirit. Oh, these people should know that, but they don't. So they keep trying to throw you under the bus. You're very highly ranked in the spiritual realm, and people need to be careful in what they're doing, because if they're up against you, all they're doing is digging their own hole and or grave and just going into it. They're always trying to be in secret competition with you. And here you are just doing your own thing, trying to manage everything with a lot more ease. And it's not luck, which they think you're just always under luck, and then that's why they're trying to go against you. But you're unbreakable. At the moment, you're jumping timelines still. You're still dealing with people from the past and really clearing out the old, and as well as going into the new realm. So things are becoming sometimes quite weird. You don't know where you're at this stage. That's because you're kind of like sitting on the fence, but you're not. You can see both ends, like on the other side as well as that. You're going through the fork in the road where you have to make some important decisions. I see the decisions. So the big decisions are that it needs you to think carefully. You're thinking outside the box. You're very unconventional. So a lot of people don't like this. That they think, what are you doing? Why are you doing it this way? Why can't you follow the rules? That's because you can't. There's no set rule. It's because you're under the guidance of Spirit, and Spirit doesn't have just a traditional way for you. Spirit's always surprising you with test after test. You're going through a brand new path, so it requires you to be carefully thinking about how you're going to navigate through things. And you're also seeing how things play out. These are talking about new directions, and although you haven't made a complete 100% concrete decision, you are still navigating life with a lot of caution. So Spirit's advice is not to tell others about your goals, and do not discuss any plans with them. You have quite a lot of family matters to address as well. Some of you have already addressed most of it that needs, the family member needs your help, and you have gone through quite a lot of complicated matters and errands that you were running for them. As I mentioned, I've got to pull this one out. You're still figuring things out. Spirit's asking you to get some help, to ask for guidance, and always go within. There's lots of money opportunities coming up, and the advice is to just carefully work out your budget and things that needs you to carefully distribute. So never spend money on too many things in the one pocket. Always have an emergency fund in case something happens. Okay, let me pull out these away and see if there's anything else I can coherently talk about whilst I'm here on certain topics. Just going back to the conflicts, there's a bit of challenges at the moment. There's quite a bit of tests. Now, I need to mention that the reason why lately you've gone through quite a bit of difficulties is because your time is now that you're moving towards a breakthrough. It's like driving a car, and you need to make some decisions, but at the same time you can't drive too fast because you need to know where you're going. And if you go too fast, you might crash and burn, and the whole thing just would not work. You will go into the wrong direction. So it's time for you to stop and sort of start and also slow down in between to get from point A to point B, but it's not going to be an overnight thing. So it's like driving long distance, but it doesn't require, and if you're impatient, you want to get there as soon as possible, it's just not going to work. In terms of your work, I can see a contract. Spirit's asking you to hold off signing the contract and look at it first if you cannot make a decision or if you're a little bit stressed out. Now remember, there might be delays, and if you're unsure and you've been procrastinating, it's a sign of fear. And fear is only fear of making any decisions or fear of something that you don't want to progress with. If you've gone back to a couple of my readings in the past about how to get over the fear, if you've been procrastinating for long, is to distract your subconscious mind in not to think about it too much. So if you've got a goal that you've been procrastinating and holding off, all you have to do is just count from 10 to 0. When you start from 10 to 0, your mind is distracted on just counting, and at the same time you're just looking at starting to make a move, about thinking about starting the goal. So by the time you start counting backwards to 0, the goal is not for you to finish the whole thing, because it's impossible, but it's to reset your mind frame to just think about starting it. And just watch out for what happens, because most of the time when I used to procrastinate like that, by the time I finish counting from 10 to 0, I have already started doing something about it. So talk about, say, tidying up your room. If you've left a pile of mess for so long, if you start to count 10, you start to pick up that item and just do something about it. Lo and behold, you'll probably start the plan of action. I hope this analogy helps you. Now, there are some delays that slow you down. So lately, I found that it might be something that requires you to think carefully and not rush into hasty decisions. You're doing things your way, and you're no longer bothered by other people that try to tell you what to do. You have your own way of doing things, and you're not telling anyone. You're no longer tolerating anyone's bullshit. But at the same time, you're doing it diplomatically and without crossing those people and making a scene out of things. So when you no longer tolerate those people, you're building up your own boundaries in a healthy way. And that's fantastic. Some of the people around you you've still got quite a lot of lessons that Spirit wants you to learn. And you're surrounded by ungrounded people. So you have to ground yourself by just going within and how to navigate through these difficult people and situations. Know that these people are clocking up karmic debts while you are accumulating karmic good deeds. You cannot unsee how certain people are behaving in a lower vibration or how they approach you. So just exercise caution, and if you have to deal with that certain person or situations, you know what to do with using your intuition to help you through. And you know that asking Spirit for guidance is the way to proceed this. It's always with diplomacy, and never go against the other person just because they've done the wrong thing. Approach it like how Spirit would approach it. Spirit always gives people a chance, and with forgiveness and kindness. It's time for you to also give back to self, and a lot of self-care as well is required. This is a really tough time at the moment for a lot of people. So the people that are not doing well is always going to lash out at you, because they can see that you are doing extremely well, and they just are very jealous, and then they cannot handle how you operate in life with a lot of grace. So be aware of that. Some of you still have to take the time to buckle down and get things done. And this is my procrastination card, to honor your commitment. A lot of you are very committed, but some of you are still going through a little bit of fear. Know that you've got some good news happening and financial matters, and you want to do something different and challenging. Well, there you go. You've been now surrounded with challenge, and there's a new area of study that you want to do. A lot of you are getting out of your comfort zone, which is really good. There's a complex decision that you have to make, and that's the fork in the road message that I had just then. A lot of you are shining very bright and stretching your wings and flying. And please don't underestimate your ability. There's some events that occur with great speed. Take the time to carefully review your options. So this is my analogy card of driving a car. Please don't drive too fast because you still need to plan out carefully the way from point A to point B, which is a long distance. So I use this analogy for attaining your goals, which is life-changing. These things take time and energy, and there's no need to fully rush it, because even though things are speeding up, it needs for you to carefully manage your time and how to get there. This card is signifying gifts of money, time and effort. There's a new career opportunity, and some of you that are applying for a loan will receive the approval, because some of you wanting to start a business or something to do with your investments. Again, I'm not a financial planner, of course, and this is not advice on financial planning, and it's for you to research well how well you can manage your finances. Another confirmation card on new opportunities in career advancement. And Spirit's saying the message is change your life now. Some of you are feeling still trapped, and this is my fear card. Fear of advancing. So there's a little bit of lack of confidence there. Again, please count from 10 to 0. And in between counting that is to picture yourself facing the fear and going forward, walking towards the goal and the challenge with Spirit. You got one of the best cards, or actually I call it the best cards, the Sun card, signifying for a lot of you a happy time, and you're going to create the confidence once you overcome your fear, and you've got a lot of brilliant ideas. At the moment, there's some conflicts with others. Again, this is the card where people can sense your energy. They sense that you're elevating and succeeding. Therefore, they'll try and throw you under the bus and maybe either blame you for doing things wrong, or trying to pick at anything that can, at mistakes that you can do. So the thing is to focus, and focus. Communicate with a clear vision and be a leader. I know it's hard to say, especially when you're going through Mercury retrograde. Communication is a little bit skewed, just like what's happening with my situation at the moment. But I'm not letting this get to me. Like today, this person's trying to throw me under the bus and blame me for things and not doing her job. So, but that's okay. I'll do it. But if you're going to just like give me the whole thing and without even trying, well then Spirit will intervene. So there will be a divine intervention for that person trying to sweep things under the carpet. So instead of asking me why this happened, they didn't even bother. They just said, look, you do it. So that's fine. I have people that I'm surrounded with that are like that. They do not like to take the blame, like take the responsibility, sorry, and try and do something about it. All they did was just say, look, you do it. It's your fault. So I'd stay away from these type of people, but I would still take the responsibility of completing the job, and that person will have something else that Spirit will provide them to do. You're going through some deep cellular healing, and both emotional and physical. Spirit's asking you to jump in and say yes to change. It's time for you to be seen. And when I say seen, I'm not talking about getting attention. I'm talking about really getting in there and do the work. And even though you are a quiet achiever, you are still allowing Spirit to see you, knowing that you are out there doing what you're supposed to do and fulfilling your life mission. You're part of a team, a spiritual team and star family. Understand that you are of the consciousness and with the divine. All path leads home, and this is a call for you for inner authority and intuition. Spirit's asking you to create boundaries and people that don't resonate with you and who's not for you. There's a time to spend time for yourself and take time out. It's really important that you honor your need for rest and working on yourself. The abundance universe will provide. Know that your life is full of abundance. All you need to do is wait until this whole thing, between the spiritual realm and the physical realm, to calibrate at the same time. So when you're trying to manifest, just because you manifested it in your mind, it will take time. So this is what's happening with you. You are very close to having a breakthrough, but it takes a lot of energy because it requires a long distance, both in time and your efforts. So it takes time to come together between the 5D and the spiritual realm to the 3D. So just because you may not see something manifest, it doesn't mean it's not on its way. You're turning knowledge into wisdom. So every day you're learning something new, regardless of how hard it is, and whether it's a challenge, and dealing with people that you don't really want to deal with, but you have to. Nothing's wasted. So this is a confirmation of your lessons, that it's not all in vain, and you'll be highly rewarded because you're co-creating with Spirit as well. Spirit's always with you. Freedom is destined to be yours. And it's time to let go of things that don't serve you, and like people trying to get to you. And all it needs is for you to build some boundaries and to walk away from it. Now, as I said, if you can't release these people physically because you have to deal with them, then use your discernment to try and navigate through, and as much as you can go within to ask guidance from spirit how to go about approaching these type of difficult people and situations. And also the advice is slow and steady wins the race. When you're dealing with difficult people and rude people, the worst thing you could ever do is add fuel to the fire. So the best thing is to use your energy and your feminine energy to deal with this and approach this. The soft approach is the way to go. Never speak back to them to cause further conflicts. It's very hard. I mean, I know it's easy for me to say this, but as you are approaching more and more of these issues, this is a sign that you are approaching breakthrough. Hang in there. I cannot stress enough the importance that the more you're going through conflicts at the moment, the more it's time that others can see your light and your success. The jealousy and the low vibration is really eating at them, because you're putting up a mirror and they are having to face it head on, and it's so uncomfortable. I myself have been there years ago, where somebody who has been doing their work, I used to feel very, very jealous and uncomfortable with those people. As time goes by, I've realized what's happening. I'm starting to learn the lessons and knowing exactly how to navigate through different types of energy. So you're also learning your lessons, and a spiritual warrior. Managing them very well is going to get you through. So I hope you resonate with this reading, and if there are things that you don't resonate with, leave it. As I said, this is all about managing difficult situations. It's for the collective and chosen ones. It's never sunshine, rainbows, and lollipop. It's far from it. But the lessons that we learn, yes, they are. And you know that one day you're going to be so happy that you've done the work. So I'm going to leave it at this. And if you haven't been subscribing, or please consider subscribing and give me some comments, please. So I really appreciate that. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings.